One of my favorite games, this one. Let's see, did I get the year right? Pretty sure it's 1994. Wasn't it supposed to say? I'm a little confused by that. Maybe it doesn't do it for the first game, maybe only... Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. Yeah, we got it right. Okay, so this is the first game. I have played this game a tremendous amount, so... I would not say I'm by no means the best in the world at it, but I'm good. I'm good at this game. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. There's, of course, a lot of secrets, a lot of ways to play this game. There are many things that I'm bypassing. But it's a good fucking video game. And if anything, it actually might be too quiet. Super Nintendo stuff tends to be a bit more on the quiet side, I find. So I could probably bump this up a whole bunch. Yeah, the Super Nintendo console's pretty quiet, whereas, like, Game Boy stuff is, like, just ridiculously loud. Yeah, we can get a bonus here, why not? I don't always go for these, but we'll make the playthrough a teensy bit longer. Like, why not? But for the most part, a lot of the bonuses... Yeah, like, I don't care. I don't need the animals, they only slow me down. I think that these games... The first one, particularly, I'd say for the most part, this one takes... The bonuses aren't really that interesting in the first game. They're much better in the second and third games. Yeah, I think it might still be too loud. Let me drop it a bit. Kind of just adjusting it, figuring out a good spot. This is probably fine where I have it. I think now it's probably good. But yeah, this is one of my favorite games, and it's mostly because of nostalgia. There are some reasons why it's my favorite. Fuck. I didn't get the extended roll. Oh well. It happens. Sometimes I make a joke out of myself. Have a little giggle. I always tend to take this bonus because it's faster, it lets you skip stuff. This game's also weird in that it lets you skip. Well, it basically gives you the completion percentage for a bonus when you fail it. It's kind of funny, actually. So you don't actually have to complete the bonuses, it still counts towards your percentage. Again, though, not that I'm really trying to get everything. I'm just kind of getting what's nearby and easy to see. Oh, it was that one. Well, darn. You love this game? Me too. Thanks for the follow, PEK3TO. I don't know how to say that name, but thank you for the follow. Yes, these are some of my favorite video games. This one in particular I'm pretty nostalgic about because I've played it a ton, and it was the one that I had on Super Nintendo. Any of the other games I only had as a rental. So they weren't games that I owned at the time until I got the Game Boy Advance versions, which I did play a fair amount. So I did play a lot of 2 and 3 on the Game Boy Advance. Just peck. Alright, cool. Yeah, so I tend to play a lot of the 2 and 3 on the GBA, but I still play the Super Nintendo ones as well. Now, for the most part, we'll get to it eventually, but for the most part, I find the GBA versions to be interesting, and they have their own kind of idiosyncrasies and stuff, but they're still inferior to the Super Nintendo versions. And if anything, what makes them inferior is just their visuals. Their visuals and the audio. So, like, just the music is really butchered on 1 and 2 on the GBA, but we'll get to all that. We'll get to those versions soon enough. But yeah, but definitely, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of these games, so I really wanted to do a playthrough. Darn, seriously, that still hit me? part can be a little tricky. Now, I have not played much at all of Returns and Tropical Freeze, and I've not really touched the land games, so that will be relatively new. Those will be relatively new experiences for me. So I'm really interested to see how those are going to turn out. There we go. That's a good one. Killer Instinct. I see. I've not really played the Killer Instinct games, but I am familiar with them. I've seen them played before. I like how with this one, you can just skip the entire level. Of course, you obviously miss secrets, but I'm not going for 100% or anything. It's just really funny to me that they just let you skip over the whole thing. In 2 and 3, really, I didn't get that? In 2 and 3, they just straight up let you warp through most of the levels at the like first like world especially, and some of like the other ones. All those early levels you can just skip over. It's kind of amusing. They're good levels though, so I don't really tend to like skipping all those. Really? Yeah. See, a lot of the time when I play this game, I try to do advanced speed tech, and it doesn't always work because I'm rusty. That was decent-ish, I guess, other than the first hit being garbage. Yeah. You are in the right place if you want to see a bunch of Donkey Kong, because I'm going to be doing a lot of that tonight. Love me some Donkey Kong. I've also been streaming some other stuff too. I always do like variety retro stuff here. And some modern stuff too now and then. Like I recently played Cultic Chapter 1, which was really, really good FPS that pretty recently came out. I play this well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I've played this game a lot, so I do tend to know my way around it. I'm not as good as at this one as I am with, oh darn. Well, I guess we'll do the level. Why not? I kind of meant to do the warp here, but we can do the level, it's fine. Get a little more value out of the first game. I can, unless I'm playing really poorly or just being really risky in what I'm doing, and usually beat this game in under an hour, 50 minutes, 45 minutes, depending. But I'm definitely not at all on pace for anything like that, and that's fine. I can take my time, do a little bit of extra stuff. I mean, I'm getting bonuses anyway. Not all of them, but some of them, so this is kind of just a nice little celebration stream for the video games. But yeah, the land games I've been pretty interested in trying and completing. I played like a little bit, but nothing more than like a brief sample or something, just to kind of see what they were like. I remember I bought them on 3DS ages ago and then didn't really touch them a whole lot, but I fully intend to give them a thorough touching, a complete molestation, to be able to really see what those games are like and absorb them. Oh, I fucked that up. Why did I jump so early? That was funny. Whatever. I guess Donkey Kong gets the credit for that one. So one thing for people who don't know this game as much and as well as I do, Donkey Kong is really bad in his own video game, and assuming you have the skills involved to avoid losing Diddy, you pretty much really want to always be using Diddy as much as possible. There's only like a few rare exceptions where you probably should use Donkey Kong, but it's only in a few parts of a couple levels of the game. Otherwise, Diddy is just superior in every way to Donkey Kong. Diddy is just faster in all of his moves, and Diddy has a smaller hitbox. Diddy's also got a better roll, and he jumps higher as well. So there's pretty much no reason to use Donkey Kong over Diddy in terms of, you know, just power levels, I guess, if we want to talk about power levels. So at this point, you can just skip this entire level, but I'm going to do it, like the whole level, because it's more fun that way. I'm also going to do this because it's fun. I won't use the go barrels everywhere, I guess. We'll see how this goes. Oh, sometimes I'll accidentally hit them, but that's fine. This part's a little funny. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, some of them are too easy to hit, but it's fine. You can just roll through them like that. You get, like, iframes when you roll through the what are they called? The croc dudes or whatever. It's pretty fun. It's an entertaining level. I do enjoy it. This part's a little more tricky to do. Yeah, I fucked it up. This is me being a showboat. That's what that is. That's why I died. Because I'm doing things that you're not supposed to be doing. It's just a way to get a little more fun out of it. Yeah, that's a very specific timing. Yeah. Let's just do that one normally. I don't want to keep losing lives over this silliness. I have not practiced doing something that stupid in a while, so I better not push it. All right, let's just go back to our normal level route here. Yeah, the baby way. All right, there we go. Yeah, I played through Cultic recently. The game's fucking awesome. It's a great FPS if you're into the boomer shooter games. That one's awesome. Highly recommend. And I recently played through the original Resident Evil 2 and 3 for the PS1. Good times, those ones. Those are fun to replay. Those are some very entertaining games. And then... what else was I playing recently? Oh yeah, I was doing Super Mario RPG. Did a bit of that. Still working on that. I'm pretty early into that game still. It's another game that I still have in the docket. Oh, I got that jump. That's good. I don't often get that jump for some reason. Probably because it's so easy to get hit by the giant, naughty barrel, whatever these things are. I don't know what you call these things. I don't know about Stumble Guys. It's not one I'm familiar with. I know about Dead by Daylight, but... yeah, I'm a fan of modern games too. It just depends on what they are. I'm not one of those types that you see a lot on Twitch for the retro category that hate anything that's modern. I don't swing that way. I definitely think that the new and the old, the new and the old can coexist. Yeah, that was pretty weak. That was a pretty weak attempt on that boss. I can consider it a warm-up. Alright, now we're getting into this nonsense. This level. Which isn't that bad, I guess. Where was this anyway? Oh yeah, it's like up ahead. There's like a warp. I'm probably too slow, though. Yeah. There's like a timer on it. That's fine. We'll just do it normally. Rip off the Fall Guys? I see. I see. It's always fun getting that bonus without the barrel. You can do that in a couple parts of these levels. This game's got some weird glitches and idiosyncrasies about it. In fact, this first game is insanely glitchy, just unbelievably so. Now, you might be thinking, man, I'm so good at this video game. And man, I'm playing so well. Just wait until I get to Donkey Kong Land, and then you'll see a very different experience there. There's a big difference between video game I have played a shitload and then video game I have not played. That said, I do consider myself to have a baseline of skill when it comes to video games, especially 2D platformers. But I am fully expecting that Donkey Kong Land is not going to be the most entertaining game ever. It'll probably be pretty okay, but I have heard things about it that kind of make me think it's not going to be nearly as good as this game or any of the other mainline Super Nintendo games, but I'm very interested to see how those games turn out regardless. I know, like, some stuff about them from, like, YouTube stuff and just cultural osmosis, so I know that there's, like, flying pigs and other oddities and weirdness with ways that it kind of distinguishes itself from this game. But those will be an interesting time. We'll get to the land games pretty quickly, or at least the first one. Probably a good idea to just do things in release order, I think. Yeah, I'm aware of Wizard of Oz. I did hear that it's a bit overblown on its reputation because it's one of the games that the Angry Video Game Nerd like had a thing on, like a video on back in, like, that was one of his earliest videos. So, you know, there's the whole narrative of, like, video game bad because Angry Video Game Nerd said so. How did I get hit there? Really? Like, how did I pull that off? Because Angry Video Game Nerd said so, you know. I think from what I had seen of the game, it definitely doesn't look like it's great or anything, but it doesn't come off to me as, like, worst video game ever made. You know, that kind of thing. A little bit overblown in its reputation. I find that most, like, bad video games are a bit overblown. Like, a lot of their reputation's a little bit overkill. Even if they're just, like, mediocre or not, like, super amazing, they still have some things about them that are good. Yeah, the whole part about going through platforms, I would have to kind of, like, look at it myself. I would have to play it myself to kind of verify my own thoughts on it before I condemn it to hell and, you know, for all eternity. Because I also know that in some cases, some of those games are designed to not be... They're designed in a way where you fall through platforms, but that's just, like, part of the design. It's not, like, a glitch or anything. It's, like, that's just what they intended. And then you have to just know which ones are, like, the ones that will do that to you. Now, I'm not sure if that's good game design or not, but I do know that in some cases, that's exactly what's going on with some of those games. Oh, what? Are you serious? That's embarrassing. Man, we can really consider this one a warm-up. I'm getting hit by things I don't normally get hit by. But yeah, that's kind of just my thoughts on it, right? Is that a lot of people tend to watch a video game review on something, often Angry Video Game Nerd or whatever, and then they kind of just base their opinion on the video game off of that as opposed to trying it for themselves. If the person tried it for themselves, then good, you know, you've formed your own opinion, stuff like that, you know? I think that's kind of a pretty important bit of context when it comes to a lot of these games. That said, of course, there are plenty of games that are shit. There's no shortage. There's no shortage of video games that are garbage. Especially on retro consoles as well. There's lots of them. There's so many shitty ones. I have several on my Mister here that are just complete garbage that I have there just for the sakes of laughs and just to investigate how bad they are. Oh yeah, this part is a lot easier if I just get on guard. I could do it the hard way, but why even bother with the hard way when I can just go get on guard? Wasn't he, like, supposed to be right here? Yeah, there he is. Alright, there we go. Instead, on guard's not a complete solution to these types of levels. He can get hit. There are trolls like those sharks. I can easily... See? Like that. The hitbox on guard can be a little weird sometimes, even when you're in attack mode. Oh, yeah, that was my bad. I turned around. Shouldn't have done that. Alright, let's do that. Let's do that better this time. No! On guard, why are you doing that? Don't auto-attack. Yeah, that's fine. We'll take that hit. Now let's grab him up here. A little sloppy, but that's fine. Alright, awesome. And our first act of genocide, Bumblebee Rumble. This boss is a little bit easier with Donkey Kong because he can hit the zinger up in the air. If I recall correctly, this is the Queen. Oh, that was just off in timing. That was just me getting greedy, trying to get a perfectly timed hit in as soon as he got out of his invincibility. There we go. Yeah, as an example of platformers I dislike and think are garbage is the Bubsy series. Just all the Bubsy games are shit. Some are much, much worse than others, but those games are shit. And I have a lot of intimate history with Bubsy 2 and 3D specifically, because those are games that I owned at a point in my childhood. And those games fucking suck. The original Bubsy's not as bad, but it's still pretty shit as well. You can kind of understand what they were going for with Bubsy, at least. You know, failed mascot. Trying to make him like another Mario, Sonic, shit like that. A lot of that stuff that everybody was trying to do back in that era of retro gaming. And everybody pretty much failed, except for a very small handful. Crash Bandicoot was successful, at least. Alright, this bit. This is I'm doing it the slow baby way. Alright. That. This level's where the stream bitrate gets all pixelated and garbage. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? That's embarrassing. Okay, I guess we're doing that again. A lot of silly deaths in this one, but that just means that we get more content out of this one game. Because otherwise, this game gets no content whatsoever. Oh my god. Because otherwise, this game's gonna be done really, really fast. So I'm just stalling for content. Hey, Cassie Starlight VT, welcome in. Thanks for the follow as well. How many expand dong jokes have I gotten today? None, actually. This is the first one. Yeah, a lot of those follows are dead follows, though. And a lot of them were from when I was, like, streaming back in, like, 2014, 2015. But yeah, I've tried to reach affiliate, and I kind of gave up on it. I mean, I'm sure I'll get there eventually at some point, but I was really close for quite a while, and then, for whatever reason, I could not, like, breach it, so I just, like, kind of stopped looking. I don't really look at my numbers. The only numbers I look at are my ones on YouTube, and I only look at those, like, maybe a few times a week. My experience with content creation is super long and unusual. I'm just gonna do this level again, by the way, because I skipped the entire thing. I just kind of want to show off the warp. The thing about live streaming, no matter where you're doing it, which really there's only 2 places you can do it, and Twitch is pretty much the best place to do it right now. The thing about live streaming that's difficult is you need to have a bunch of people all watching you at the same time at the time that you're doing the stream, and you need them to stay for a good portion of that stream. Otherwise, your numbers will not be good enough. You have to get the averages up. So you need to have enough people watching you and staying for that whole entire time period, and that's tricky. So say, realistically speaking, for my stream, there are probably a good 20, 30 people who are interested in my content and streams in some way. That's just kind of like my estimate for like my stream content. The number's probably somewhere around there. And, you know, the thing is getting all of those people that are all in these different time zones to all watch me at the exact same time when I stream, and watching me play like any game, no matter what kind of stream it is, they'll watch me play any game. That's a hard ask, and that's why I don't have affiliate. So that's pretty much the reason why. And that's kind of what makes streaming pretty difficult and just tricky in general. Hey, Bill Co, thanks for the follow. Welcome in. I often lose espresso here. This ostrich is hard to keep in this level. Nice if you can keep it, but it's not easy. So far so good though, doing a pretty good job. This is where you can easily lose it. Okay, so far so good. Considering my bad performance in a few of these other levels, this has been pretty good so far. Alright, now this bit though, fuck this part. Okay, so far so good. Alright. Now this bit. You don't really need espresso for this part, but it helps. And this. Okay, that actually went super well. It's very rare that I actually bring him the entire level. That's a lot harder than it looks. So one thing that's actually really interesting about version differences between these games, because for people who are not aware or didn't look at the title, I'm going to be playing every Donkey Kong Country game. That includes all the ports. Not like every little tiny specific version though, of course, because like even the Super Nintendo version has like 4 or 5 different versions, like PAL versions and, you know, different minor bug fixes between other versions. We're not worrying about that, but I will be playing all of the ports. And actually I am considering doing the ROM hacks. There's not that many of them. There's like 2, and I've not played them and they seem interesting. I have the skill level to do them. Assuming they're not like Kaizo level, because I don't think they are from what I saw. I probably will do the ROM hacks, I just haven't decided yet. If I do ROM hacks, they'll probably be at the end. I'll probably put them at like the last thing that I do. And yeah, so I'm gonna be playing all of the games, including the Donkey Kong Land games, because they're basically Donkey Kong Country games. They were just for the Game Boy. So I'm throwing those in as well. And it'll be interesting and fun, because part of the reason that I'm doing this is because I haven't played all of the games. So I'm really looking forward to playing all of them. I have not really played Returns or Tropical Freeze, which I hear very good things about, especially Tropical Freeze. So I'm really interested to give those a go. And the land games I've not really played much either, so they'll be very interesting. Even if the land games aren't very good, I'm at least interested, so that's gonna be a fun time. And it won't be long until I play land, because I guess I'm just doing them in release order. That makes the most sense. So land is coming up shortly, as soon as I'm done this game. Yeah, like their Super Mario World kind of overtook a lot of that. It kind of seemed like Donkey Kong Country ROM hacks just weren't something people were interested in. I'm going to be playing the Switch versions of Freeze, or not version, the Switch version of Freeze, and Returns will have to be on the Wii because, you know, that's really the only way to really stream it. I'll have to figure out what I'm doing with Returns, though, because I can just also enjoy getting flashed constantly. A little fun fact is later releases of this got rid of the flashing. I think since 3DS onwards, the re-releases of this got rid of the flashing that this game does and 2 does. You also don't need squawks for this. This level, you can see... Fuck. You can see well enough without the light. I've done it many times lightless. I probably should have done it. Oh, that was close. I just got hit. Yeah, the freeze version is on Switch is a port, yeah. But the thing is that the differences between the 2 versions, as far as I know, are so negligible that there's no reason for me to do both of them. Like, they're so, like, similar. It would be different maybe if I was playing the new Funky Kong mode, which I'm not. I'm not doing the Funky Kong mode. So, like, you know, that would be really the only big difference, right? Otherwise, they're the exact same. Whereas, say, for instance, the Game Boy Color version of Donkey Kong Country is very different, or the GBA versions are very different from these games. So, those are more substantial. So, it's not like, you know... The thing is, too, is like with the Wii, I don't own an actual Wii U. I could emulate it, but again, there's not much point. They're the same games. Like, there's not really any real difference. Now, anyway... So it's just not really worth playing like a game that's so super similar. That's kind of my stance on it, is when it's like a game that's that long with incredibly minor differences at best, it's not really worth the inspection. This is on a Mr. FPGA, which is a console reproduction. So basically it may as well be on original hardware, but it technically is not, no. It is on a system that reproduces consoles with essentially one-to-one accuracy. Okay, that was greedy. That was greedy. I jumped too late. I thought I could get it a lot, like, tighter than that. Yeah, so, like, the Mister is a really cool device. Maybe I can show off a bit of what it does between games, because I can't exit the game right now and show off other stuff because I'll lose my progress. Because I haven't saved, so that's kind of a bad idea, so better to finish the game first. Oof. Don't mind the barking dog. I have a very misbehaved... Well, it's technically not my dog, but... kind of a family dog at this point. And she has serious, like, barking issues and never stops sometimes. So especially this time of year, she's been pretty crazy about that sort of thing. You enjoy watching from the couch. I'm glad that I am couch-worthy. This fella is really easy if you just do this. Just keep running into him. It sounds stupid, but it works, because he doesn't move. So then you can just get him in a stun lock. The bosses in the first game are pretty shit, to be honest. Comfort is very important. There's like a shitload of secrets in this level, by the way, but I ain't gonna get them. It's kind of like I said before, is the first game is just kind of really weak when it comes to the bonuses and secrets. There's a few genuinely interesting ones, but they're just not very fun to do the bonuses. A lot of them are just the same thing over and over again. Now, the second and third games, they really make those more intriguing. They kind of give you a little more motivation to kind of do them, especially since they unlock the Lost World and stuff like that. There's a lot more going on with those ones. The only reason I really like the first game the most is just because of nostalgia, and it's the one I've played the most. There's really no other reason why. Oh, I fucked that up with the jump. That was stupid. My bad. Well, I guess we get to see more of the level again. Most of my deaths in this game are just from being, like, careless and trying to showboat. That's, like, almost how it always is with games that I've played too much of. I just, like, get overconfident and try to do things that I'm not practiced enough in anymore. Like, I used to kind of do casual speedruns of this game years ago, and I don't have the skills that I used to with it yeah. Ugh. That part's hard no matter, like, how good you are at the game. Let's see if I can do better this time. There's also Rambi you can get, which I've skipped past, but Rambi just makes this section harder. Rambi's a powerful rhinoceros. I think he's a really cool animal buddy. Just a bit lackluster in this particular release, this particular game. Okay, so maybe I can do it this time. There we go. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Good. I almost fucked it up, but no, that's how you're supposed to do it. Ah, yes, the Marios, huh? The good old Marios. Mario's a good time as well. I like Mario games. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing some more Mario at some point. I've streamed Mario World a couple times in the past. For some reason, I recognize your name, Cassie. Maybe I've just seen you in other, like, retro stream chats. That might be it. I consider myself to be pretty good with names on the internet. But that's probably where I've seen you. Yeah. So, I don't have a strong opinion on most of the 3D Marios because I've barely played them. There's like straight up some I've just barely even touched or haven't played at all. I want to actually play more of them though. That's been something in my mind for a while. I played most of Sunshine back when it was newer, but I didn't beat it. I got close though. I think that was a rental as well, so I did have like limited time. And I've never completed Mario 64 and then barely played it. I played it on the Wii Virtual Console, and that was the most time I spent on it. But I didn't like finish it, and that's really been my main experience with Mario 64. And aside from that, Mario Galaxy was another one similar to Sunshine. I owned that one, but I just didn't finish it. I got like near the end, much like with Sunshine, just didn't finish it. And I haven't played Mario Galaxy 2 at all. I genuinely hear Mario Galaxy 2 is better than the first one. That's the general consensus, it would seem. But, and then Odyssey. I did beat Odyssey. I didn't 100% it, but I did beat it, and I really like Odyssey a lot, actually. Odyssey was really good, and I want to play that again. And, like, get more moons and stuff, because there was a bunch of content I didn't actually see or finish. So that's pretty much my experience with 3D Marios. Oh, yeah, and I guess there's, like, there's the other ones, what are they called? Like 3D World, 3D Land. There's, like, one on the 3DS and one on the Wii U and the Switch port, which I own the Switch port. I've played some of that. I've not finished, but I didn't really get too deep into it yet. And there's the one that I also own on the 3DS, which it's a similar thing. I've played a bit, but not played deeply into it. So I think that covers all my 3D Mario experience. Oh, yeah, the new Sonic hedgemans. I hear a lot of good things about Frontiers, actually. It seems to be one of the rare good Sonic games. I'm interested in Frontiers. I wouldn't mind playing it eventually. But I want to play more of the other Sonic games first. I haven't played much of the Sonic games. The Sonic games, I just don't have any nostalgia for the most part, so... Shit. Yeah, I fucked that up. There's like a technique, which I almost always get, but somehow fucked up this time. I got it earlier. There's like a thing you can do where you just change your direction, and you don't actually have to worry about getting knocked down or hit. You just kind of like, it's a specific timing, so like I can do it again here. Do that. Like, it's not hard to do. I just screwed it up somehow. Alright, we can do it again here. See, like that? Yeah. You just gotta rotate it. You just gotta, like, just time it correctly. Or you can just do this and not be dumb. This also works, too. So, the classic Sonics, like the 2D, I have mixed feelings on, but they're not fully informed feelings, so I don't want to make, like, complete snap judgments or anything. The first Sonic game I beat as a kid with a borrowed Sega Genesis. This was probably when I was, like, 8 years old or something, and I borrowed a Sega Genesis over the summer from a friend, and he had, like, the shiny PlayStation, so he didn't give a shit about his Sega Genesis. So I just, like, beat the game over the summer. And I remember it taking a while, but I did do that. And then I recently played it on stream with infinite lives and just, like, beat it that way. And then I played Sonic 2. And Sonic 2... I didn't have the most insane, amazing time with, and it's mostly because the way that Sonic 2 is designed, or just a lot of the classic Sonics in general, doesn't really so far appeal to me a whole lot. I know that's like a hot take, but they didn't really... I think it's what it is it's a combination of their reputation and how much people hype them up, and how that reflects how I view them as someone with zero nostalgia for these games. Like, for this game, I have a lot of nostalgia. Like, this game, I played a lot when I was young. So I have, like, biases with this game, but I can acknowledge this game has many, like, severe flaws and stuff. I've actually mentioned several of them already, like the bonuses being kind of shit, and the... fuck. And the, like, the bosses being super, like, lazy and phoned in. So there's, like, things like that in this game that are obvious issues, but I still love this game because, like, nostalgia, and also because it has amazing movement, so there's things like that. And I think the other thing about Sonic 1 and 2 that kind of grind my gears is they don't have a save system. The argument that was given to me by... like, one person. So, like, for context, I was streaming Sonic 2, having really not played it before. This was probably 4 months ago or something like that. I had been streaming it, and it was, for the most part, a first playthrough. And I had, like, a few people watching me, but it was mostly one active chatter. And the dude basically told me to get good, and that any criticisms I had towards the game were just a result of me not being good enough, which is a common thing that I see with a lot of these, like, games and stuff. It's like, well, I've played this game, you know, like 500 million times, and my, you know, perception of it is so distorted and warped that I can't possibly view these games from fresh eyes. So if there's any problem, then it's obviously because they don't have the level completely memorized in and out and don't know every single little detail and idiosyncrasy with the movement and the platforming, where they can almost play the game blindfolded, right? Yeah, so I was playing the original Genesis version, yeah, because I have a Mister, so I can just, like, straight up, like, just play it like it was a real Genesis. I even have like a Sega Genesis controller as well. So yeah, that's kind of like, you know, how I was doing is like as close to the original as possible because that's what people know and love. So I tend to stick with those versions because of that reason. So there was no save states and there was nothing like that. The only thing that I can do is like enable cheats. I can enable cheats. So I like for the first Sonic, I enabled infinite lives. For the second Sonic, I had no cheats whatsoever. And that was because for whatever reason, the cheats were not working on the Mister with the ROM that I had installed onto it. What, really? That hit me? That's bullshit. I fixed it later, so now it works again, and I could enable infinite lives if I wanted to. But point is, the classic Sonics, like 1 and 2, don't have a save system. They just have the continues and stuff like that, right? And that really ate at me, because if I get a game over, which happened to me more than once with the second game, what happens is, well, you know, you have to start from the very beginning again. And while I've played a good number of retro games, and I'm, you know, not, like, that's not unknown to me or anything, I didn't really have a lot of patience for it. And that's kind of where a lot of it stemmed. Where it's like, well, now I just lost 3 hours of gameplay, right? By the way, this is like one of the worst bosses I've ever seen in the game. Like, straight up, as much as I love this game, holy shit, am I aware of some of the issues it has. Like, this boss is so fucking stupid. Like, how is this even a boss? This is so silly. Really? Oh, that's gonna make my life harder. I might actually fail this boss because now I don't have Donkey Kong for this section. We'll see. I'll probably be alright. Just gotta focus. The armadillo dudes are gonna be the problem. Because Diddy's kind of not great against those guys. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. See, that happens very easily, so I have to do the stupid fight over again. I'll just, like, wait. I'll use Donkey Kong at the very end. That's, like, the better strategy. It's a very stupid boss, but you can fail at the very last section if you did what I did. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about the mobile versions of those. And yeah, the Sonic Origins ones, I believe, are based on that. They're too expensive, though, and I'm not going to spend real money on them. It's totally fine for me to just, like, I'll revisit Sonic 2. I'll do that in sometime in the near future. I'll revisit it. Because now that I have infinite lives working, I'll actually be able to tolerate some of its, you know, idiosyncrasies. Yeah, see, I did it that time. Didn't even need Donkey Kong. But, yeah, it's kind of... It just really bothered me that, like... I guess if I were to be more specific with the classic Sonics that I had played, 1 and 2, is there's a design philosophy of those games with instant death traps, right? So, like, you have spike pits and stuff, and there is the ring system, which is forgiving, but the game, many times in its level design, like, just has, like, blind death pits everywhere, and that kind of stuff bothered me a lot. So there were things like that that kind of, like, just took away from my enjoyment, combined with the lack of a save system. From what I'm told, Sonic 3, I will probably like a lot more. That's what one of my friends was telling me. She was saying I'll probably like that one a lot more. Because it has an actual save system and has a few differences in the way that the levels are done and stuff like that. So we'll see. She also thinks that I might actually end up liking some of the 3D Sonics a lot more, particularly like the adventure games, which she's probably right, because I had rented the GameCube version of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle back when it was newer, and I did enjoy it of what I had played. At least as a younger teenage me, I had no real issues with that game, and I generally was enjoying it. I didn't finish it because it was a rental, but I did have fun with it. So it's very possible I'll be pretty positive on those games. But yeah, I'll definitely keep that all in mind. But I'll probably just, for the sake of simplicity, stick to just the Genesis versions. Because, again, it's kind of what people know. And I'm always more interested in playing the versions that people know and grow up with, as opposed to, like, the more up-to-date definitive versions. Because I'm more interested in the time period and the conversation surrounding the games, because when people talk about these games, they're not talking about the improved versions, they're talking about the one that came out originally. So that's kind of where my thought process lies on it, and kind of thinking about those games and judging them that way. This is just a very disguised auto-scroller, by the way. This particular level. Auto-scrollers and platformers are controversial, to say the least. And this is the part... Fuck. Well, now my life just got harder. Oh, okay. Yeah, so lesson to be learned here, and I knew that that was going to be a problem, and I don't know why I let it be a problem. Don't keep the tire. Like, once the tire is useless, just ditch it. Because that tire is a liability. That cost me a life. Not that I'm low on lives or anything, but still. You're just getting extra content, that's all. This game normally would be finished by now, to be honest. But I'm taking extra time because I know that this is going to be the shortest game of playing all these other games. Yeah, everybody seems to say Sonic Mania is really good. I probably believe them. I hear Sonic CD is pretty interesting. I'm still gonna try it and play it. Not necessarily gonna complete it, but I'm gonna try it. I am open to trying most video games. I'm always interested. For now, though, I'm going to be pretty busy with my current games, like the Donkey Kong games here, and the, I still have to finish Black Mesa, which is the Half-Life remake. And I still have to finish the, Super Mario RPG, which I still have a good ways to go on as a first playthrough. So I got plenty of games at the moment, so I'm definitely good on... I'm gonna keep having Sonic on a pause for a little bit longer, but definitely gonna be some Sonic again, eventually. A lot of what I've been doing lately with my games that I've been playing is playing franchise stuff, and kind of working my way through a bunch of these franchises in whatever order that I please. This is really the only one where I'm kind of doing it in more release order, I guess. I don't think you really need Rambi here. If anything, Rambi probably just makes this level harder, but that's fine. We like a little extra challenge. Like this section, a lot harder with Rambi, because his hitbox is fucking huge. And what happens with Rambi is when you get hit, he'll just throw you off the level, as opposed to if you were a Kong. If you were a Kong, you would just like stay in place. Because that's the thing, is Rambi like fucking throws you off. It's insane. See, like that. It's insane. Rambi's crazed. The worst functional Sonic game? Yeah. Oh, fuck. Well, it's as you say. It's as you say. It's the controversial one. God, I hate that jump as Donkey Kong. I'm just glad to be done that section. This level's pretty fucking easy for the most part. One thing I like to do as a streamer is I like to make bold, grand statements like I'm doing really good at the game, or this level's easy, or this is nothing, and then die. Because it's a good way, it's a good punchline to set me up for potential failure. In case something does happen, then I have a clip, baby. Then I have content. This Misty Mines level is so fucking easy. There's no way I'm gonna screw it up. That's exactly how this is gonna go. Yeah, I hear a lot about Metal Sonic and Sonic CD, so that is something that is consistently said. Man, why did I get hit there? This level's so easy. I can't screw this up at all. Now I have... Oh, wait, good. Okay, got a barrel back. I was gonna say I'm banned to using Donkey Kong, the worst character in his own video game. And the only time he stars in his own video game, aside from the land games, of course. Alright, got it. Welcome, Dubious. What's my favorite of the DKC trilogy? You're looking at it. It's complete bias and nostalgia, and technically speaking, it is by no means the best of the trilogy. I would say it's the worst of the trilogy, but it's my favorite. And that's what matters. The only reason I like it more than the other games is purely just nostalgia, and because I know it the most. I've spent the most time playing it, I'm the best at this one, and that's pretty much all there is to it. If I were to say what is, like, just game design-wise, the best of the trilogy, it's the second one. The second one, easy. But they're all pretty enjoyable, fun video games. I like them all. Now this jerk. There we go. Taking a little bit of concentration here. Not a too hard of a level, just a little bit being on the careful side here. Yeah. It's funny that I still have some childhood memories of this game, and some of the other games in the trilogy. I just have memories of getting trolled and, like, dying in some of these parts, like, at the end of the levels and stuff. The original Donkey Kong, like the arcade one and stuff like that, it's, like, good for its time. It's otherwise just kind of whatever to me. Like, it's just kind of one of those period games, you know, where it's like, yeah, it's fine for its time. Not really anything I go crazy over. It's got that banger soundtrack, you know? Doop doop doo 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 doop doo 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 doop doo 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 doop doo doo doo, and you know, so on. Truly someone to give David Wise a run for his money. It's an important part of video game history and all that. You know how it goes. I think I played the original Donkey Kong the most in the Animal Crossing version. Which is just really funny to me, because a lot of people forgot that Animal Crossing had NES games. Obviously, it's not the original arcade port, or the arcade version, but it's close enough. I wonder how many people played their first NES games on the Animal Crossing releases. Quite a few of my first exposures to NES games were through that, so pretty funny when you think about it. I played the original Animal Crossing a huge amount. I have very fond memories of the OG Animal Crossing. None of the other Animal Crossings have really been able to reproduce that for me. That initial enjoyment. I've still enjoyed the other ones that I have played, but nothing really captured the magic for me again. Alright, so 2 more bosses here. Oh, right. Yeah, you're the one who shoots twice. Of course. And then you shoot again each time I hit him. Yeah. Adds another nut onto the pile. One more. Come on, there you go. Do your craze shit, Necky. Senior. Alright, cool. DK64 I've not played yet. I don't consider that part of the Country trilogy, though. I do want to play it though, but I am gonna wait until it's either on the NSO service or I just buy an N64 and get that all set up. Well, the Banana Hoard's here, but this is the end of the game. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I finished this game in 45 minutes. Like I said, this is the shortest. For me, this game's the shortest. That's kind of why I grabbed a few bonuses, just to kind of extend the playtime of it. I've been doing this since I was a kid, just mimicking K. Rool's jumps, kind of as a mockery. Alright, awesome. Getting there, getting there. Sometimes I can still fail this fight if I'm just being really reckless. The key is just to not lose Diddy. Every single one. This song is, like, used so often in the Smash Brothers games. I don't think it's in the first game, but it's in, like, all the... It's in Brawl and Ultimate and, like, the Wii U one. It's a banger song, though. It's really good. I mean, it's kind of just an obvious thing, all the... hey, we beat the game. I'm doing that meme. You know the meme? Do you remember it? I beat the game. It's done. There's definitely nothing left whatsoever. The game's finished. Yeah! We're gonna move on to Donkey Kong Land. Yeah, it's done. There's definitely nothing left. Yeah, the video game's over. Yeah, it's a meme. Oh no! He's still alive. He's coming back. Alright. Almost there. Ah, yes, here we go. And that's it. Good stuff, good stuff. Well done, Donkey, my boy. Who'd have thought a young whippersnapper like you could have beaten that bunch of no-good Kremlins? You've made an old man proud. Go and look in your hoard. I think you'll be in for a surprise. If I had been playing, I'd have found everything. Yeah, well, I'm too lazy for that, Cranky Kong. The bonuses aren't good enough. I'm sure there must be some bonus rooms you haven't found. Yes, like most of them, because I didn't get them. I know where they are, I just don't care. Hooray! Kong's Banana Hoard, yay! And we get our credits with... It's a cool... I love the way that the Country Trilogy does the credits. While those credits play, I'm gonna open my window, so I'll be back in a sec. I'm back. Look at all the names for these characters and these enemies. I don't remember all of them all the time. I probably remember most of them, but, you know, nobody really says all the real names all the time. Yes, this game rules. I love it. It's flawed, but I enjoy it quite a lot. Many good memories with this one. Oh, and in case you're wondering, I'm also using the official Super Nintendo online controller that they sell for the Nintendo Switch. I'm just using it on the, Mister here, which I'll show off a bit of what the Mister does since people are kind of curious and aren't really familiar with it. I can, like, show off kind of, like, what it's about a little bit. There's, like, some really good YouTube videos that go more in depth, but I can, like, do a demonstration once the credits are done here. And kind of what its appeal is and what it's capable of doing. Wouldn't take very long. Give me a little bit of a break between games anyway. And my thoughts on Ultra Kill. Yeah, I've played the first 2 chapters or whatever. I did that pretty recently. It was like 3 months ago, 4 months ago. It was like during the summer or something. So yeah, I had streamed that already. I enjoyed it a lot. It was really good so far. It's an unfinished game, of course, so I can't give my full thoughts, but of what I've played, it's definitely really, really good. I actually think, though, that I like Cultic more. If we're talking about, like, boomer shooter games and stuff, I actually think I like Cultic more so far. Cultic was really impressed me, and I think I kind of tend to like Cultic more just because of its art style. And because of, like, it's just the way it particularly plays appeals a little more to me. But I love both. It's like Ultra Kill reminds me a lot of, like, Unreal Tournament Quake stuff with, like, a lot of movement tech and things like that that are really exciting and really fun to do. And that's where Ultra Kill really, like, stands out as an excellent game. Whereas Cultic is kind of more, like, different in that it's slower paced, but it still offers a ton of amazing, unique stuff that just, really helps make it stand out from other FPS, where it just has a lot of its own in-depth mechanics and meta that a game like Ultra Kill can't really do because of the way it's designed. So, I'm really a big fan of Cultic, which I did stream very recently. And I'll definitely be streaming it again once the second chapter's out. Alright, then we just have our standard credits with all the people who worked on the video games. Yeah, definitely. Cultic is an easy recommend. It's not too much money either, at least for the first half of the game. It's weird because it's not early access, but it kind of is. It's like more like kind of like Half-Life 2 Episode 1 type deal is what the developer's doing for some reason. It's a little strange. So it's like, it's a full release, but it's just like the first half or so of the game, and then he'll release the other half and charge for that as well. But it's priced about what you'd expect. It's like, I don't know what it is in USD, but the game was like $10, $15 for me in Canada or something like that. I don't remember. It wasn't that much though. But yeah, this is a good game to play every now and then just because it's so fast for me to get through it. Even if I make a bunch of mistakes, I can still get it done in like an hour or so. So after these credits, like I said, I'll show off the Mister a little just because people aren't really too familiar with it. I think more and more people are getting familiar, but it's still a pretty new device for a lot of folks, so it's kind of still needs to get more exposure. But I would describe it as the ultimate retro device, and you'll kind of see why. Then we can look at our in-game time as well, because it'll save that, I think. Yu-Gi-Oh streams? Okay, then maybe I don't recognize you. A whole whopping 40%, and in-game time is 53 minutes. So if you don't understand the in-game time works in this, it only counts it when you're in a level, not when you're in the overworld stuff. So the timer doesn't run unless you're playing a level. So that's our in-game time. So Mr. FPGA, what is neat about it?